What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Good morning, this is Kevin. You're watching the Monday Market Watch where we talk about Lorcana stuff. So, real quick, I do want to say like, comment, and subscribe if you are a Lorcana Goon and if you want to see more Lorcana content. So, let's take a break from those Disney passes and let's look at some Disney cards, shall we? Today we have the first chapter booster box, still the same price as before, 375 ish, a little too high. So, maybe don't pick these up right now. It doesn't look like they're gonna change anytime soon, even though there's all these rumors about the reprints and whatnot happening sooner. But the Chapter Two box, Rise of the Floodborn, you can find some pre-sales actually going for even cheaper than the first chapter box, right? I don't like pre-sales from anything other than your local game store. So personally, unless you're doing pre-orders from a local game store, like that you actually know on a hand-to-hand basis, I'd rather do pre-orders like that. I never do pre-orders online. In my opinion, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, right? But take risks if you like. But just pointing that out there, they're a little cheaper than the actual first chapter booster box, right? We have some enchanted rares. Last week I talked about Hades, which was the cheapest enchanted rare. But this week it's looking like Mickey Artful Rogue is kind of fighting it out to be the cheapest enchanted rare too. And then it's not the cheapest, but these are the ones that are lower than 200. There are a couple, but these are some of the cheaper ones, and it is Mickey Mouse, so I'm a little surprised that this one is pretty low as well. About 170 to 150 to 180 is probably about what you're going to be expected to pay around there, given like percentages from TCG Player. And then Simba is another enchanted that is less than 200 bucks right now. I really like this one. Something about the artwork looks really cool to me. I think the animals in the background look pretty sick. I kind of do want to pick this one up that it is now that it is so cheap. Because it is kind of like an opportunity right now. As somebody who does want to collect some of these cards, this would be really cool to just have. I do want to have all the enchanters at some point, so if I had a bunch of money, I would buy them this week personally. And I also think the card is pretty good. We don't know what's coming out in Chapter 2 entirely, but I do feel like some of the cards in Chapter 1 are probably going to get better in Chapter 2, just probably based off of the way the meta changes. So something to take into consideration, right? A character that has such a high willpower like six, but really cool enchanted. I'm surprised that it's so cheap. This Mickey and I want to say Hades are like the cheapest ones right now you can find. And then Elsa, everybody's favorite, obviously being the most expensive enchanted rare you can find. It's still well above 800 bucks, and I say well above it because it's like consistently staying there. It might be like a little, might be a little bit more than 800, like 805, like this sale right here. And there's even somebody who has a damaged foil Elsa going for 700. So it's not even anything too crazy. Like it's damaged, but it's not even anything too. It's like barely damaged, bro. Yeah, it's not anything too far off the actual price. But we have the Elsas right here. Still well above that $800 price. These are not going to go down anytime soon, I don't think. And that's probably the reason why the Chapter 1 booster box is so expensive as opposed to even the pre-orders for the Chapter 2 box right now, just because we don't even know what legendaries, we don't know any enchantments from Chapter 2. But I do want to point something out because I know that some viewers aren't necessarily only trading card people. Some people are collectors on the PSA level, and the PSA stuff was very new to me before Lorcana. The only experience I have from like PSA and Beckett is understanding stuff like sports trading cards. But I don't know. I don't even like sports, so I don't know anything about it. My brother just teaches me about it because he collects them, right? But a lot of people have been collecting the. A lot of people have been collecting the PSA graded Lorcana cards, obviously for good reason. So this is like the most. This is like the most. This is the lowest listing right now that I can find on eBay. That's a PSA 10 graded Lorcana, graded Elsa. It's a pretty. It's not too far off the price from the highest listing of Enchanted regular also, right? 813. And then if you go down to the actual listings, to the actual sold, I mean. Completed and sold sales, you can see that on October 2nd, there was a couple that were selling as low as $1,000, before shipping and all the fees or whatever, but still like close to $1,100 for a graded 10 Elsa. Some at 1,200, and then since then there have been a bunch of sales. eBay has a lot of sales actually, sales activity and sales information you can see, but they're all like no more than 1,300. Even these with the little slash right here, these are the best offer accepted, and I can go to this website that my brother showed showed me. Shout out my brother, and you can see the best offers accepted for those two. And as you can see, the most recent best offer sold was accepted was $1,200 basically. And then after that, $1,200. And these both happen October 8th, October 5th, October 5th. So 1,200 around is what you're probably going to be paying for a PSA 10 Elsa right now, I think, which isn't, again, not for, it's only $400 more than the raw Elsa, ideally, right? Like if you're paying like 100% retail, and that's being like generous in that sense, because a lot of times people want to offer less than this, less than the completed than the best offer accepted recently. You know what I mean? The most recent comp is what it's called, because usually you want to take into consideration fees, if like percentage fees, if I'm going to pay cash for something, or if I'm going to show up to your store. But something to consider, right? Another thing I like to use this website for is to compare TCG player prices with eBay prices with promos in Lorcana right now, because again, a lot of the graded stuff is new to me, and a lot of using eBay is new to me. And I didn't realize that TCG player prices are extremely inflated when it comes to the promo cards. Not extremely inflated, but if anything, they're catching up to eBay prices. It's kind of the other way around, because most trading card game players use TCG player because the singles are usually like competitive and up to date, whereas the promo cards, I noticed they're a little overpriced on TCG Player. So I am gonna go over the Donald Duck promo that just came out last week. These on TCG Player have been selling. There's only a couple that sold, but they've been selling for from 150 to about 120, right? And there's again only five that sold, but I've been seeing these go around Facebook a lot for like $100 flat. Same thing, you go on eBay on the most recent comp sold right here that I have already waiting, and most of them are around $100, less than 100, 120. The price has been going down a lot since the announcement, because I did see some people listing for like 200, but around 150 is probably what you're going to end up paying. Right here on the most recent sold, we have some that are as low as 62 before shipping. After shipping, this probably comes out to about $100, $100. So usually about $100 is what you should be paying for the Donald promo right now. So don't let anybody try and get you for any more than that. And that because the Goofy promos on TCG Player, these fell a lot, right? Like I was saying last week, because it looks like these are catching up to the eBay sales. Because if you look at the eBay sales most recently, $95 before shipping. That's about like 110 after shipping, right? Even the PSA 9s are going for like $80. They're pretty low. So raw 107 before shipping. The raw Goofy, another one right here. We got 128 shipping included. So about 130, and these were from before this little price chart. So the Mickey's, the Goofy's going down, the Mickeys are going down on TCG Player to catch up to the eBay sales. So I do recommend you guys checking out eBay for some of the promo cards, not just TCG Player, or even go as far as to check OfferUp, check Facebook, because you can find some competitive offers there too. And TCG Player looks like it's kind of catching up to the pricing on there when it comes to these promos. So I probably wouldn't get these promos from TCG Player. As you can see, they're just going to keep going down and down. And even though we got the new Donald Duck promo, I would have thought that these would have gone up, because this promo would have been a little more sought after. But I guess not. I guess eBay's ruling the promo game right now. But we'll go over some singles from TCG Player, because we all know singles is where it's at least for if you're trying to play the game right now. I think you should be buying singles. And honestly, it's a really good week to buy singles. The prices are really low. Elsa, which used to be like a $50 legendary, you can find for easily about 36, 37, $35, right? If you're meeting up with vendors, you're going to your local game stores, you should be able to find this for a good price, or even a good trade price. And that's not the only legendary that has gone down. Bell is around $35 as well. And I know this is kind of typical for Bell to be around this price, but I just think that these legendaries that are really like going to be staples in the future, also for Chapter 2, I think they're going to be pretty important to pick up soon, right? Yeah, like this Maleficent Dragon was a lot more expensive than less than $40 when it first came out. I want to say it was about like 50 even. Like closer to 40, 45, 50. And now they're as low as 32 with a dollar shipping from verified sellers, right? I think that it's a great time to pick up some of these cards. I don't see a format where Maleficent Dragon is bad. I don't see a format where this card is a bad card in Ruby. I'm not saying that it's going to be played in every Ruby deck, but this is like a very, very strong card, and it's really low. But some of the legendaries are going back to their original price, like Hades. Hades was like at $25 last week, and if you didn't get it, now you're going to have to pay a little bit of a $5 premium, because now they're all going to be a little more than $30 for the verified sales. So $31, $32 is probably what you're looking for Hades right now. Like I said, guys, you should have picked them up. You should be paying attention to the market watch, watch. Not financial advice, but I do feel like some of the legendaries pricing is being warranted. Stitch with only 34 listings on TCG Player. This guy is still going up. The lowest verified is going to be 28.98, so $29. After that, it's $30. Like I said, I knew it was going to hit $30. This card was bound to hit $30. And even this cold foil price, guys. Check out this cold foil price real quick. Look, cold foil price $63 for the very lowest verified, and then after that 61, 67, 70, dang near $70 for a foil Stitch. That's wild, man. If you were picking these up, if you were picking these up 2 weeks ago, if you were picking these up 3 months ago when they were $10, $16, you're making bread right now. You're like you're the sandwich in Stitch's hand, man. You're bread. You're in your bag. That's really cool though that this card has just jumped like that. I really think that this card is amazing. Even the foil artwork is dope. Draw 2 is never bad. I'm really surprised the Enchanted Rare is not going up, right? John Silver is another cold foil that continues to go up. We had that week where there was only a couple listings and some were selling for like 45, $50, but now it has it's been settling at a confident $35 to $32 range for the John Silver foil. So it's not a $50 foil, but it's also not a $20 foil anymore. Easily 30 to $35. So if you have some of these, same thing, you're making money. Cusco's my favorite card, my Emerald Sun. I love this card so much. More back at above $15. Like I said, less than $15 was way too undervalued. We said that last week, and now you can see them going back up. Emerald is super popular right now, especially with the new cards that have been announced. Emerald is just gaining a lot of attention, and the lowest verified sale is going to be closer to $18. So no longer less than $15. You guys are going to have to pay $18 for your Cuscos now. I'm sorry. Obviously, you can get unverified sellers, but you take those extra risks with the unverified sellers. Beast Wolfsbane is another one. This guy has been just gaining a little bit of attention because the new Beast Legendary that was announced. I'll go over that at the end of the video, so stay tuned. But lowest verified $7 now. Ooh, look at that, $7. These were like $4. I just pointed this out because I like this card a lot, and I did notice that there was a sudden little difference in the amount of sales that were happening over the weekend after the new Beast Wolfsbane got announced. So there was a little interest in this, and now the pricing has changed on these. So that's always nice. Even Musketeer Tabard is going up. This is like a $2 rare now. It was less than $1. Nobody wanted this, but now they're at least $2. So if you have these in your bulk, guys, make sure you put them in your binders. Make sure you put them in your in your cases at your booths. The league promos, these are still really cheap. So $15 is what the Mickey Mouse is settling at right now. There is, again, only 34 listings. So 15 times 34 is less than $1,000. So if you got some extra money, maybe you want to perform a buyout and get these prices going up. Just kidding. That is unethical. I think this card is really cool in general. But again, I don't know how many have been in circulation. It just seems like every LGS has like a bunch of these, right? And every weekend it's like somebody's winning these. So I can see why the price is so low. Maybe given some time it'll be worth something, but even something like the Hey Boat Snack is going as low as $5. It's like a $5 league promo now. I like this card a lot. I think it's cute, but I don't see it really ever going back up to like that $15 mark that it was, at least not for a while. There's way too many listings. There's 53 listings of this, and there's just no interest in the league promos when you can just you get them for free for just showing up to your locals. Another card that is crashing down is Lilo. This card was like $20. Everyone knew it. Everyone knew Lilo was $20, even more than $20 sometimes on a good day. 25 is like probably the peak I saw. And if you were buying this for more than 25, I am sorry. I think this card is great. Don't get me wrong. I just think that it's a card that's good for the first chapter, and it might not be good going forward. It seems like it's going to warrant some play. It's a 1 ink 2 lore. That's never going to be bad. But the issue now is that we see cards coming out like Robin Hood that are going to support cards like Plasma Blaster, which just deal 1 damage to things early on. And it makes cards like Lilo and Maleficent not really the most impactful anymore. And not only that, we're seeing that Amber Steel is still the best deck, but a lot of the new Amber Steel lists don't play Lilo. A lot of them are not playing many 1 and 2 ink characters. It's more of a mid-range package, and Lilo is really only used if you're playing an aggressive deck nowadays. It's just interesting how the meta has changed so much in like the only like month and a half that Lorcana's been around, that these prices have gone so low, because Lilo, again, hyped, $20, $25 that first week when Lorcana came out because everybody thought that the Amber Song deck where you spam a bunch of one cost characters was the best. But now we see that the meta is very, very diverse. You can play a variety of decks. You don't have to necessarily play like a tier one deck or anything like that. Where everyone thought Lilo was involved in, and now that there's a bunch of options, and you can buy Lilos at about $10 to $12. So if you're trying to build a deck, I think this week is a great week to build a deck. This week right now, while these prices are like this, yeah, I'm missing. I have four Lilos, but why not get like a couple more? I want to play more decks. A Rockstar Stitch is another one that is going low. That has been less than $15 confidently, and it can't break that $15 mark. $13, $14 is what they're selling at. Whole New World, same thing, less than $15 now. Used to be a $20 super rare. This is all these cards are from the same type of deck, and unfortunately, it's not seeing the same amount of play as it was. So now the cards are a lot cheaper. But if these are cards you want to play in Chapter 2 or cards you need for your deck in general, and these aren't the only cards, by the way. A lot of cards have been going down. So check on TCG Player for some singles, guys. If you're missing some cards from your deck, this is a very good week I think to get on. Be prepared. This is a staple in Ruby decks. These are just $10 now. And these are going to stay at $10, I'm sure. But I want to say they have been seeing a lot less popularity. So like, there's just so many lists. There's 216 listings. It's extremely competitive with the unverified sellers too. So if you want to pay a little less for a Be Prepared, you can do that too. Ariel the Spectacular Singer. This is also a very competitive card right now. 215 listings. There's so many of them in circulation that the whole first page of TCG Player is mostly unverified, and the lowest is $9. So it's not a $10 card anymore. It's closer to a $9 card. You could probably even get some good trade bait with this. If you're looking for it, you could probably trade up from this. Maximus the Palace Horse. This card was like over $5, and now it's about $3, $4. This thing was actually, like, I want to say closer to $10 at some point, just because it was a little popular, and I don't know. It's just one of those super rares that hasn't seen any play anymore, and it's just going all the way down to that price of like Tamatoa or something. It's still used in some decks. It's used in that lemon lime. It's used with Just in Time. It's a 5-ink character. It's a good bodyguard. It's just not anything too impactful right now. Who knows? Maybe it'll be better. But even that foil price, that foil price came down a lot too, from like $15 all the way to $5. So if you're picking these up, I am sorry. Plasma blasters are seeing a little popularity this weekend. The foil pricings have gone up a little bit. They're more than $2 now, like $2.50 for a foil plasma blaster. So that's kind of cool. And this is because of the new Beast card that has been announced. So this is the Beast Relentless. This card is kind of cool. I'll move a little bit so you can see the effect. It says Second Wind. Whenever an opposing character is damaged, you may ready this character. So we posted this on Lorcana Goons Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, blah blah blah. And this information was given to us yesterday. And since then, it has given a lot of ideas on what decks to play and how to play them. You can abuse this effect with stuff like Plaza Blaster, Hans, the new Robin Hood that's coming out. I do think that because this was announced, it makes certain other cards look a lot more appealing, like the Beast Wolfsbane, which is also just an Emerald card, and the Emerald cards are really popular already. So now we have Cusco again, like going up in price. Like a lot of this news, like impacts a lot of what's going on. So if you're someone who has some of these cards, make sure you're kind of keeping up with the news, because you can kind of make some good sales or even just make some good buys. Do some smart shopping. That these games are not free. These are hobbies that we have to pay for, and money is some of our pockets aren't the same as each other's. And the same thing, I gotta save money. I gotta make sure I pay my rent. So I do like to pay attention to like when stuff is low, because like then I need a Lilo for my deck, right? And I'm gonna buy one because it's the cheapest it's ever been. So it's always good to pay attention to the news, guys. So I do appreciate you guys keeping up with the Market Watch with us. This has been the Monday Market Watch from Lorcana Goons. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this content and other types of Lorcana content. I will upload another one this week because we do 2 a week. So look out for that. I want to say on Friday. And then throughout the week, we got some more videos planned out. So if you like Lorcana content, be sure to stick around. Lorcana Goons out. You goons have a good rest of your week.